Show we live here.
Yep, we are live. Hello and welcome to the MMA Live Chat Show. I'm Rich Davie and it's Sunday, December 7th, 2014. On today's show, we'll be discussing and recapping the UFC 181 Hendricks versus Lawler 2 event, and more than likely we'll do a final thoughts segment if time allows. On today's show, we have yours truly, Jeremiah Deskins and Eddie Law. Thanks for taking part in another show, guys. I appreciate you all taking time to be here and joining me to discuss the UFC 181 Hendricks versus Lawler 2 event. Go ahead and say hello to anybody that might be listening, guys.
What's up, MMA world? We got a ton to talk about. Excited to do the show with you guys.
Hey man, it's a new day. We got the pipe bomb has joined MMA. We got to see what he's gonna bring in the actual cage though.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. We'll talk about that in the final thoughts, I guess. Though, that's news, definitely news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, thanks again for being here. We didn't do a predictions show for this event here, so let's just go ahead and get started here. The UFC 181 Hendricks versus Lawler 2 event took place Saturday, December 6, 2014 at the Mandalay Bay Events Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. And the main card aired on pay-per-view at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. The prelims aired on Fox Sports 1 at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And there were two prelim fights that aired on Fight Pass at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's start with the main event here. Robbie Lawler versus Johnny Hendricks, the number one UFC-ranked welterweight versus the UFC welterweight champ. And Robbie Lawler defeated Johnny Hendricks by split decision with the judges' scorecards reading 48-47, 47-48, and 49-46 to win the welterweight title. And the reaction to Lawler winning the decision by some UFC fighters was split. Many thought that Lawler did not deserve the decision, but then again, there were many that were in favor of the decision. In my opinion, you can't really argue about any of the judges scoring the fight 48-47 for either fighter, but that one judge who scored it 49-46 in favor of Lawler, man, he's out of his fucking mind, or he's lost all control, because there was no way you could score the fight that way. I saw a lot of people complaining about that, saying Fix is in, blah 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 blah, just so they can do a trilogy event out of this, but. Who really thinks that? I mean, that's going into conspiracy territory, and I don't think anybody really believes that except the ones that are way out there in left field without a glove. But it was a good fight. I thought it could have been a great fight if Hendricks actually showed up to fight rather than to hold Lawler up against the cage and stall for time like he did, because obviously Hendricks in his corner must have thought that he was winning the fight. And I thought that Lawler's corner gave him some bad advice by telling him that Hendricks was tiring, which then had Robbie laying back a bit. And, he should have just actually continued to employ that heavy pressure that he was putting on Hendricks in round one. And, from what I saw in round one there and what I saw in round five, that just might be the game plan for fighters in the future to follow when they're fighting Hendricks. Move forward, lots of pressure, throw as many kicks and punches as possible. Jeremiah, what did you think about that fight?
Well, I'm really, really happy that Robbie won it. I actually got a lump in my throat at the end of the fight when they announced that he won, but I was cussing like hell because I thought he lost the fight. Going the way the judges score, I say that Robbie deserved to win. I don't think that Johnny deserved to leave with the belt. I thought they was going to score it, how they normally do, takedowns or whatnot, but he just coasted through. Like you said, he thought he had won the fight. He was pulling the Floyd Mayweather, wanting to lay on him, and the strategy he was employing, hiding his face and just holding on to the legs, Robbie was trying to finish the fight. I gave round one to Robbie, possibly round four to Robbie, definitely round five.
I scored it the same exact way, bro. I had the fight after 4 even. And then in round 5, it was just total friggin' domination by Lawler, man.
I don't understand what Lawler was doing, though, man. I was cussing like hell. He was not putting up. I think he blew his wad in the first a little bit.
No, I don't think that's what it was.
I thought he might have been injured. I was like, did he hurt his hand?
No, dude, his corner was telling him, hey, man, he's tiring, and then I don't know why he did the same thing in the first fight that they had where he kind of laid back when he should have put the pressure on,
It could be a new day, man, a new day with the judging system. They're not going to award these fighters just laying and praying and relying on the takedown. they score too much on the takedowns. You can't score MMA like boxing. There's too many variables going on here. Could be a new day with the judging system, but I'm definitely glad Robbie won. It's been a long road for him. Personally, I'm a little biased because I can't stand Johnny Hendricks, especially after these interviews he's been doing, not letting nobody touch the fucking belt, not letting nobody hold the belt to take pictures, saying that they didn't deserve it. Of course they didn't deserve it. They're not fucking fighters. They're your fans. I mean, I don't understand, man. I just don't like him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I do know what you mean, man. All right, so then you scored it 1, 4, and 5 for Lawler, correct? 10-9 each round?
Yeah.
Right, so you had it, way, though. Yeah, so you had it 48-47 Lawler, then.
Yeah. Okay. The one judge, the way he scored it was fucking crazy. When they announced the first score for Lawler, the second for Hendricks, I kind of had the feeling that they was going to score for Lawler. I said, you know how they normally do. The first score, the first name they say, if it's a split, the third one is going to come back to that. So, but I was definitely shocked when they said that Lawler won it. I thought, the way they score it, I figured they was going to give it to Hendricks. But I don't think he deserved to leave that fucking ring with that belt the way he was fighting in the 4th and 5th round. He even said it. Did y'all watch the post-fight press conference?
I actually saw an article out there by some website. I don't recall where it was.
What I mean?
I only read the headline. I only read the headline, but yeah, he said I didn't fight. You know, that's why I lost. Yeah, so you know what? The only way you can really rationalize that 49-46 score is by maybe saying what you were saying.
10-5.
Maybe we're in the UK. Maybe they're not going to award these guys for, you know, just laying on a fighter and holding him and, you know, not doing anything. And maybe that's the only way you can rationalize that is by saying maybe that one judge said, well, screw this. I'm not going to award him any points for that shit.
I even said before the fight was over, I told my friends who was watching the fight, I said, the fight's going to end. Hendricks is going to win, and I'm going to be saying I wish there was a fucking another round or at least another 30 seconds. He should have exploded at the end of round 3, done a little bit more in 4, like he done the last minute, 10 seconds of the fight, like Robbie did. He was actually trying to finish the fight. Hendricks wasn't fucking fighting. So if I was the judge, I mean, like I said, I'm just happy Robbie won. It could have went either way. The judges system, the way it goes, is fucked anyway. I hope it is a new day. I hope they're not going to award people for the lay and pray bullshit that they do, but Hendricks was fat and fucking tired as hell.
Yeah, I was actually watching the live punch stats as they were happening, and in round 5 it was pretty even. It was back and forth for a little bit, and then when Robbie turned it up, like you mentioned there, Jesus, man, he just threw like 30 or 40 punches that were unanswered, and, you know, that just stole the fight right there.
No, when at the very end of the fight, if you noticed, at the end of the fight, when you guys were saying Hendricks was just trying to lay and pray on him, absolutely true. If you saw Robbie's face, how pissed he was that he was doing that, every punch and kick that Robbie threw had the angriest, worst intentions that anyone's ever had on this planet ever. He was like, you motherfucker, you're trying to hold me down and take your championship back. Fuck you, I'm taking you out. And he tried his hardest to knock him out. Couldn't do it because Johnny Hendricks is made of iron at this point. But, you know, I didn't score the fight as it went because I was doing play-by-play on Twitter. So, you know, when you do that, you're not really paying attention to who's, you know, at points. I did afterwards, and I had it the same as you guys. But while I was doing it, you know, when they were announcing the decision and I heard the split part of it, like, as you know, I didn't even hear who was first. I literally heard, Judge so-and-so scores it, Lawler. And I go, holy shit, Lawler won. And people were like, no way, dude, Hendricks won. Because it looked like Hendricks should have won the fight. And then, you know, as soon as they announced the first one, I'm like, that's it. If it's a split, Lawler's got it. There's no way. Because Hendricks looked like he won it. He should have won it just on takedowns. So that's probably what a lot of people were thinking about, just the takedowns, because he did get quite a few. But I think he got like 5, and then he got stuffed the rest of the time. But you guys might be right, or you might be right, Jeremiah, with this whole, you know, it might be like a new thing in judging now, where they're not going to award people for, you know, for laying humping. This is not going to happen anymore. And I hope that this decision sends a message to everybody else out there, like, if you don't show up to actually fight, you can wrestle. You can definitely wrestle. You can definitely use the ground game. But if you're just going to lay down and wait, that's some bullshit. You're going to get penalized, and you're going to lose your fight.
Yeah, that was clearly stalling. There's no argument, you know, for the other side of that. argument there. I mean, clearly that was just stalling because obviously he thought he was winning.
It's clearly Johnny's fault. He wanted to hold on to that belt so fucking bad. He just didn't fight. He thought he had. I don't know how he thought he won round one. The way he was fighting in 4 and 5 to lay and play like that. I don't know how in the fuck he thought that he was ahead after one. He clearly lost round one. It's totally his fucking fault. He wanted to hold on to that belt by all means necessary. If that meant he tried no transitions when he got those 5 takedowns, no sub attempts, didn't try mount, didn't try side. He tried nothing, man. It was just so fucking weird. I was raising hell. He was just holding and hiding his ugly ass fucking face, man. I don't understand.
Yeah, my nephew was
actually.
I was watching the fights with my nephew over at his place, and he was actually arguing with me because he was rooting for Hendricks and I was rooting for Lawler. And I was telling him, dude, man, the fight's even. He goes, no way, man. Fucking Hendricks is winning. I said, dude, the fight is even after 4, man. And then it was all the way up until the last, minute, maybe 2 minutes of round 5. And then all of a sudden he turned it on and I said, Brian, man, it's all over, buddy. So, Eddie, how did you score it, man? How did you score the rounds?
145, man. I don't even when I score it. I don't like to do the numerous, the 46, 47, whatever it was, the 10-9, the 10-8, whatever system. I like to say who won that round because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the numbers confuse the fuck out of me. So I just go rounds. Who looked like they won the damn round? Yep. And usually, because when I'm watching the fights, I'm actually not commentating. I'm doing play-by-play on Twitter, so I don't always score the fights, but definitely the rounds. But we actually have some people on the YouTube video commenting. We have Big Kev saying, as much as I love Robbie, I questioned the decision last night, so I went back and watched it like an hour ago on mute. After watching it again, Hendricks actually landed very little. Robbie won 1, 2, and 5 for sure. 3 and 4 could have went either way. I cannot see one round where Hendricks clearly landed more strikes or did more damage. And then we have another user here, Spike Zero, saying, he says helly, but I'm assuming it's hello, but this is a hello, guys. I like both fighters, but Hendricks hiding his head under Lawler's sack pissed me off. I flipped when Lawler got the decision. So, yeah, definitely. And then they're going back and forth on YouTube, so you guys can check that out. But that might be one of my favorite comments of the day, that hiding his head under Lawler's sack pissed me off, because it pissed me off too. It was fucking dumb. But in the end, the scoring system here, it's still flawed. It's still bad. They're trying to work with it, and if they ever change it, then we'll see that change in game plans. But until that happens, we're always gonna see someone trying to lay and prey on somebody. And just like Jeremiah was saying, Hendricks wasn't fighting. He wasn't fighting to win his belt back. He was fighting to not lose. And there's a huge difference between fighting to win and fighting to not lose.
Exactly. When you have one fighter that's fighting not to lose and one fighter that's fighting to win, the guy who's fighting to win is going to win, even if it's a fairly close fight.
Unless your name's GSP.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on GSP. I love GSP. I'm just saying that's what he did. All right.
Well, DFW actually came out and said after the fight, you can't bury your head in somebody's groin and expect to win a fight,
But where the fuck was he at the press conference? He knew some shit was going to be said. He didn't even fucking show up at the press conference. Where the fuck was Dana White? He knew.
I didn't see the press conference, but I did see Ariel Helwani interview right after the fight, and that's when he made that.
You should have watched it. You should have watched it, because there's some shit I want to talk about that happened during the press conference. Like fucking Travis Brown. He is fucking in love with Edmund. All that motherfucker talks about is Edmund. He's trying to get in Ronda Rousey's pants so fucking bad.
All right, we'll talk about that in the final thought segment. Let's talk about the fights first. All right, so any more comments on this fight, guys?
No, not at all.
I think we covered it all, yeah.
Okay, I'll give my comments on here since I kind of interspersed them throughout the conversation here. I have rounds 1 and 4 for Lawler, rounds 2 and 3 for Hendricks. So I had the fight even going to the final round, as I mentioned earlier there, and in my opinion there, Robbie Lawler just simply dominated Hendricks in the last minutes of the round there. So round 5 was clearly the round that gave it to Lawler there. I scored it 48-47 Lawler. It was a close fight, but as I mentioned earlier there, clearly Lawler was there to fight to win, and Hendricks fought as if he was looking to preserve his spot as the champ, as much as he could. I don't know. Holding your opponent against the cage and stalling isn't going to win you a fight, especially in a close fight like this one. Other than that 49-46 score that was in favor of Lawler, I really don't see why this should be, a controversial fight. The fight was close, but I don't see this as a controversial decision where I see a lot of people out there bitching about that. I don't know. We'll be seeing Johnny Hendricks versus Robbie Lawler 3 in the near future. But for now, I think somebody else should actually get a shot at the belt there. Rory McDonald was supposed to get the next shot, so that should be happening next, as was suggested about a month ago or so. But stories are now surfacing saying that McDonald might not be getting the title shot next, and there is no guarantee since DFW thinks the trilogy bout between Lawler and Hendricks is not a bad idea. So when DFW comes out and makes a comment like that, that pretty much tells you that Rory McDonald's going to be waiting, and there's going to be money in another big pay-per-view. So, all right, wrapping that one up there, Robbie Lawler defeats Johnny Hendricks by split decision with the judges' scorecards reading 48-47, 47-48, 49-46, and Robbie Lawler wins the welterweight title. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next one here. Anthony Pettis versus Gilbert Melendez. Anthony Pettis defeats Gilbert Melendez by submission due to guillotine choke at 153 of round 2 to defend the lightweight title. And what did you guys think of this one here? I actually thought that Gilbert Melendez was dominating that first round, and I thought he had the damn fight won. And, unfortunate for him, that one little mistake, and that cost him the fight. He took that one shot, and he just never recovered from it, is the way that I saw things in that fight. Jeremiah, how did you see it?
He clearly won round 1. I was saying during the fight, if Gil keeps this up, he can win. It's the perfect strategy to beat Pettis. But, that being said, he blew his wad in the first round. He got sloppy as hell in the second round, winging punches. You can't do that against Pettis. And another thing, I knew Pettis was going to be faster, but the speed advantage was so fucking clear in that fight. I mean, he just wasn't able to keep the pace up, really. If he could have kept that pace up and not got caught, not got sloppy, he had the perfect strategy to beat him, which everybody knows the Clay Guida strategy, but Pettis' takedown defense has done got a whole lot better in him.
So you really think it was more that he blew his wad than he took that heavy shot that threw him off? I mean, I thought that heavy shot is what did him in there, man. When he took that shot, he just never recovered from that shot.
Yeah, he got hurt. Hold on, my lights just fucking went out on the porch here. I think Pettis hit him with a shot, glanced off the side of his head, and he wasn't right after that. He slowed down a lot. I don't know if he got tired or what happened, but can you guys still see me?
Yeah.
All right, the lights went out, but I'll just keep going like I'm doing.
You're illuminated by your computer.
Yeah, my computer, that's all I got left.
You look like you're in the Blair Witch Project, bro. No joke.
I like this look.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I like this look. I'm going to keep it.
I'm just waiting for the snot and the tears to come out. They're coming to get me.
So, Eddie, what did you think, man?
Oh, dude, look, I'm not sure there's a bigger fan of Melendez than me. I thought, he was an uncrowned champ, but I knew he was gonna. There you go. I knew he was gonna get that. I knew he was gonna get the first round, right? He always comes out firing and everything, and he had the perfect game plan. Put pressure on Pettis, don't let him go ninja on anybody, and put your hands on him. But I don't think he blew his wad. I think in the second round he realized that he couldn't keep up that pace, so he slowed it down and he took a couple chances he shouldn't have. And the one shot he took and never recovered, then goes in for the shot and gets caught with the guillotine. It was unfortunate. I was very upset because I wanted Melendez to get that belt, but
me too.
It was Pettis is just, and Melendez said it himself, just another level of fighter. That guy's just. He's just up there. He earned Melendez respect big time. Melendez doesn't give respect to everybody. He's one of those guys where you have to earn it with him. And, Pettis definitely earned Melendez respect that last night. But, and Melendez said before he thinks this is his last chance at UFC gold. I don't believe it. I think, he can come back. But, I'm sure it was discouraging as hell to lose the way he did and to, to get tapped out that way. And you're thinking that maybe Pettis didn't have the foot on the gas throughout the first round, because imagine if he did have, if he was able to just go off. he could have possibly dominated Melendez. But again, is that one shot Melendez took that he never recovered from, it's always going to be a what if. What if he didn't, take that shot? What would have happened with Melendez?
That was the first time he was finished, right?
What's that?
That was the first time Melendez was finished, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's I think I don't know. I don't know who you get there next, but did you guys see the post-fight press conference where Nurmagomedov, I think, was the one that came out and said, "Hey, me next"? And Pettis is like, "Yeah, dude." I said, "Yes, dude. Could you not speak English? Fuck,
That was funny as hell.
Yeah, that was great.
That'll be a great fight, huh?
Oh, I would love to see that fight. I mean, yeah, Melendez is a good wrestler. Khabib Nurmagomedov wrestles fucking bears. Okay,
Yeah.
Let's get that dude in with Pettis. Yeah, you better catch that guy with a nice knee or something in the face because you're gonna lose that fight if you let it go to the wrestler.
Ferguson called him out too. Did y'all see that, Ferguson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was crazy. He's acting crazy. These fighters, man, when they get to talking sometime, it's like, I guess they get punched in the head too much. They say some crazy fucking shit. But he was acting crazy. I don't know what he said right there at the very end. I couldn't understand what he said. But he just told Pettis to keep the belt warm for him.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, so anyway, I was going to say there, this fight pretty much, I don't know if you would say exposes a hole or a flaw in the game plan, or maybe it's just, maybe it just shows a way for other fighters to approach these two champions that are out there, or Johnny Hendricks anyway, the ex-champ. But, maybe that's the way that people are going to start to go at these two fighters now. Speaking about Johnny Hendricks and Anthony Pettis, maybe, fighters are now just going to come out at them and straight away just try to put as much pressure on them as they can and just keep it up. So I guess a lot of guys, when they're going to be fighting Hendricks or Pettis, they're going to need to have, a tank and a half of, of gas to be able to keep up that sort of pressure,
Well, I mean, you're going to, look, the best way to not get punched is to not give them room to punch.
Exactly.
And to stay out of their range. So you can either stay away the way Machida does by running away, or you can wrestle and put pressure on him and not give him room to get that punch off or that kick off. Because the way Pettis fights, I call him the UFC's ninja, that dude needs space to throw. And if he doesn't have any space like he didn't have for Melendez for a long time, then you're not going to get punched. But still, I mean, damn, it sucks for Melendez.
I kept saying to my nephew last night, I'm not used to seeing Anthony Pettis go backwards like that so much,
Yeah, for sure. No, he didn't want to. He didn't want to see that pressure, and he definitely didn't want to, get in a. He didn't want to get into a brawl with Melendez because there's two. Look, if you get into a striking match with Pettis, that's one thing. You get into a brawl with Melendez, that's a completely different game. Melendez getting into a brawl, you guys saw Sanchez Melendez. That was a brawl. Those are two guys that can brawl, and those are two guys that will take any chance whatsoever. Pettis probably doesn't want to fight a brawler because then he'll turn into a brawler in order to beat him. So, I think anyway. But I don't know, man. It was a trip. It sucked to see Melendez lose. I'll say that much.
Okay, let's wrap that one up there. Anthony Pettis defeats Gilbert Melendez by submission due to guillotine choke at 153 of round 2 to defend the lightweight title. And let's move on to the next one here. Travis Brown versus Brendan Schaub. Travis Brown defeats Brendan Schaub by TKO due to punches at 450 of round 1. What did you guys think of that one?
It's pretty lackluster. I figured it was going in the way it did, but you can see a lot of changes that Travis Brown's made, even his stance, his distance he's trying to use, which he said that in a post-fight press conference, but I noticed it during the fight. But I still don't know what he said to Schaub at the end of the fight. He wouldn't tell nobody. After he finished him, you see them jawing back and forth, but he never really said what he said to him. But that fight really just went the way I thought it was going to go. Schaub's on his way to Bellator.
Yeah, he just wasn't comfortable in that position of being the smaller man because he's typically, one of the bigger fellas in the division there. So when you're coming up against a guy like Travis Brown, he kind of dwarfed Brendan Schaub there. So I guess Schaub was really uncomfortable.
No, and I thought that Brown was going to have trouble with Schaub because Schaub is athletic as fuck. Remember, he's a former NFL player, so I thought he was going to give him some trouble because of the athleticism. I think look, Schaub fucked up, man. That's what I saw when after he got dropped, and then how I knew it was over when Travis Brown flattened him. When he flattened him and Schaub kept trying to hip escape, he was doing the right thing. He just that's Travis Brown. That's a heavyweight. It's hard to hip escape out of anybody. It's over 240, 250 pounds. So, I mean, look, man, watching the fight when he got flattened out, I was like, this is over, and it sucks for Schaub, and
Yeah,
it
the
doesn't
ref,
look
that
good for him.
was Mario Yamasaki in that one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was more than lenient with Schaub. I mean, if I was the ref, I would have stopped the fight much sooner, but he gave him every possible chance to, try to recover from that and get out of that. But, there was just nothing happening. I kept saying to my nephew, "Oh, man, it's over." And then it would continue striking him. Like, dude, it's over. No. And then he kept on beating him. I was like, okay, when are you going to stop this? I don't know if you guys felt that way, but I thought it should have been stopped.
Oh, yeah.
No, I thought
that too.
Yeah, no, I thought too. I thought that Schaub when Schaub was taking shots, I was like, I think Schaub could survive the next 30 seconds or so, but I think the ref's gonna stop it, and I mean he stopped it at the right time, I think, but Schaub really had no chance to defend himself, although he was 10 seconds away from the second round, and probably would have survived. But I think Schaub after the fight kept saying that he thinks Travis Brown should have lost a point because he hit him in the back of the head, but at that point Schaub's gonna shut up, dude. It's you lost, man. That's it.
Yeah, there was no recovering from that, and like you said, it was 10 seconds left, and the guys I was watching fight was complaining about that, but I was like, these refs they're trained for that. That 10 seconds extra beating he could have changed his life forever, man. He had to stop it. He should have stopped it sooner, like Rich said. That's what I was saying when I was watching the fight. I was like, man, this fight is over. I even actually got up, got me another beer, came back, and he was still pounding him in the fucking head. I was like, damn.
Yeah, man, because he wasn't defending himself. He was covering up, but that's not defending. He wasn't trying to get out. I mean, like Eddie said, when you got a huge man on top of you like that, there's not much you can do. I mean, but he wasn't moving his hips or anything. He was just laying flat and just had his hands over his ears, and that was it. He wasn't doing anything intelligent as far as defending goes.
And like I was saying earlier in the press conference, man, it was just so awkward when Travis Brown was talking. Every question they asked him, it was Edmund. He's just like, he's in love with him. Or like I said, he's trying to get brownie points from Ronda Rousey, either one. But he dodged every fucking question, half-ass answered them. Just talking about how much he likes to listen to Edmund. It's changing him as a person. I mean, it was just fucking crazy. You should have watched it. You need to pull it up on YouTube and watch it.
No, I watched it too, and he did say a lot of things about Edmund. But I mean, look at the other side. It could be that maybe that dude's just that good of a coach or that good of a person, because he was talking about Edmund's not only he respects him as a person, and he's not gonna bullshit you, and a lot of people respect that. I don't think if you're gonna be a fighter that you should have any coach that's gonna kiss your ass or sugarcoat anything. You need someone that's gonna be honest with you, like, look, dude, your wrestling sucks. Go get work on it. You can't be like, oh, you're not the greatest wrestler, but you're not horrible either. That's what
you're improving.
You gotta be like, you gotta be like, dude, you fucking suck.
Yeah, that's more like a manager. A manager takes that kind of approach because they're worried about losing their 15%.
But there's no gray area. That Edmund is just black and white. He'll tell you. He'll praise you if you're good. If you're doing something wrong, he'll tell you you're doing something wrong.
And manager's kind of fuck his new deal, dude.
All right, any more comments on that one before we move on?
No. Who do you think Brown will be matched up with next? I say Orlovsky.
Ooh. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only other viable opponent right now.
I
would love to
see that fight. I could see that, or I could see a rematch against Verdum.
Maybe Duffee.
If Kane stays out longer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe Duffee.
Yeah, well, nah, dude. A jump to Duffee right now, or a jump to Brown for Duffee's kind of rough, right? I mean, look, Hamilton's not good.
No, I knew that fight was going to be like it was, but he said he wants top 10. He said him and his camp all know that he's the best in the division, so it's time to prove it. Yeah.
Well, let's shoot for like between 7 and 10, dude. Let's shoot for 7 and 10. We go to 3, that's like he's gonna be like, what the fuck, That's a whole different animal.
Well, the winner of the Overeem fight will be a good matchup for him.
I'm so glad I get to see that one in person. That'd be awesome.
I know. I'm still jealous. Don't even talk about it.
Okay, let's wrap this one up and move on here. Travis Brown defeats Brendan Schaub by TKO due to punches at 4:50 of round 1. And the next fight, Todd Duffee versus Anthony Hamilton. Todd Duffee defeats Anthony Hamilton by KO due to punches at 33 seconds of round 1. And that was a hell of a shot, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's going to knock anybody out if that connects with anybody. It was perfect. Textbook, everything about it was perfect.
No, Duffee, I mean, damn. All right, just damn. I didn't fucking know what the hell happened. I didn't miss it, but I looked down for a second. The next thing I know, I caught the impact and the drop, and I was like, well, shit, this guy's okay now. He's good to go. Put him, let's see what he could do. But at the same time, Hamilton wasn't shit, to be honest with you. He needs to do some work as well. But hey, man,
wasn't Hamilton undefeated coming into this or something?
Yeah, but who'd he fight?
I don't know. I don't even know who the guy is, to be honest.
Exactly.
No, I don't know who he is. My friend asked me, and I was like, I don't know who he is. If I don't know who the fuck he is,
I'm pulling it up right now.
But I guess that's why they gave Todd Duffee Hamilton there, because Duffee was wasn't he off for an extended period of time?
Yeah.
He must have been, because I don't know who the fuck he is.
He hasn't fought until last night. He hasn't fought since December 2012.
Yeah, he had some sort of medical issue where he was getting pain in his extremities or something like that. I didn't catch the whole thing there because there was all kinds of people there last night, and some of the people were talking while these fights were going on. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? The fights are on. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hamilton hasn't fought anybody, really. He's 1-2 in the UFC. All 3 fights were this year, June, August, and then last night. And before that, I mean, I don't see any big names at all. So he wasn't like a big time fighter either.
Yeah, I haven't really had much time. I've been so busy with the holiday and work and everything like that I haven't even had time to know what's going on in MMA. I mean, the shows that we're doing, everything, I'm just doing them at the last minute without even doing the normal preparation that I do. Yeah, so not a whole lot to talk about on that one there. I mean, 33-second knockout in round 1 there, not a whole lot to go on about. Any other comments on that one, guys?
That's about it.
Okay, wrapping that one up there. Todd Duffee defeats Anthony Hamilton by KO due to punches at 33 seconds of round 1. And the last fight on the main card, which was actually the first fight, Tony Ferguson versus Abel Trujillo. Tony Ferguson defeats Abel Trujillo by submission due to rear naked choke at 4:19 of round 2. And man, that was a pretty exciting fight up until that submission. I mean, when I saw that arm go underneath the chin, I said to my nephew, "It's over, man." I said, "It's done, man. There's no way he's getting out of that." So, what did you guys think about that one?
Trio looked good in round 1, but that's what you got to do against him. Ferguson, he said it in the press conference, you weather the storm and you got a good chance against him. But I'm like you, when I seen the arm under the chin, I said, that's over. I got up, went to the kitchen, got me a beer, and as soon as when I came back, I seen that he tapped out. But he just gassed out after the first. Tony waited. That was his strategy. He knew what the fuck was going to go down. It didn't surprise him. Everybody knew what was going to happen. But he looked good, man. I don't know if he called out Pettis, but he didn't. He knows he's got to get a couple fights before he gets that shot. He just told him to keep the belt warm for him. So I'm anxious to see what they're going to put him up against next. Maybe the winner of Nate and Raphael. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see the way that he changed his whole attitude, because on the season of Tough that he was on, he was a bit of an ass, and a lot of people.
He was a dick on the press conference. He was a fucking ass.
Oh, was he really? Yeah, but a lot of people gave him shit for that, and then he kind of like turned things around where he kind of realized that, hey, man, maybe I wasn't being the kind of guy I should be if I'm going to be presenting myself as a professional MMA fighter.
Conor McGregor's been brought the asshole out in a lot of fighters. Everybody's going to fucking be trying to steal the spotlight now.
So what was the issue? What was the issue in the press conference with Tony Ferguson?
Well, Khabib came and busted the press conference up and was calling out Pettis, and then after that they had some questions for Ferguson, and then he just went on ranting, raving, talking shit to Pettis. So he seen that was his opportunity to get his little 15 seconds in, and he did it. He said something at the end. I don't even know what the fuck he said. Some crazy shit. Did you catch what he said at the end, Eddie?
I don't think anyone caught it because Pettis was looking at him. First of all, Pettis was like, yeah, we could do Khabib, no problem. And then Khabib went off saying some bullshit that no one understood. By the way, nobody got it. And Pettis goes, "Did you not hear me?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Let's fight." English, like, what the hell, like. And that'd be an awesome fucking fight to see, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But then they asked Ferguson. Ferguson was like, "Yeah, I'll fight. I want Pettis, or I even take Khabib. It doesn't matter who." But here's the thing about that whole shit talking thing, and Ferguson getting a little ballsier on the press conference, and people calling people out. Is Chael Sonnen started it? When Chael Sonnen did it a lot. When everyone saw Sonnen, they were like, I don't know if I want to get grouped in with that guy. When Conor McGregor did it, and he backed it up by winning, and he's getting all this money, everyone was like, shit, I'm going to start doing that. Hell yeah. And so, but this fight alone, I mean, look, at the very beginning of the fight, when Abel came out firing the way he was doing it, the first thing I said was he's going to gas out. Beginning of the second round, this guy's going to be breathing hard, barely moving. By the end of the first round, he looked bad. He was gassing hard, like he thought he was going to get a knockout. So, I even said it in a previous show that I did earlier this week. I said, look, man, we're gonna see Abel blow his wad and Ferguson take advantage and sub him. In fact, I do this. I don't know if you guys know what the UFC pick'em thing is. I go on there and I pick the fights, and I said Ferguson second round sub, and I got it perfect. But still, it's Abel's problem is the fact that he's just too big.
Yeah, I was saying that to my nephew. I was saying the same thing. I said, look at the size of this fucking guy, man. I said, if he's going to be throwing, punches at that sort of a pace and kicking, this guy ain't going to last past round one. And then sure enough, man, he was done for.
If you want to stay that big, you got to move up.
Not to jump topic, talking about being too big, Hendricks in the post-fight press conference was kind of hitting around to moving up. He was kind of hitting around. He was going to make some changes in his camp.
Well, he's got to. The guy's cutting 30 and 40 fucking pounds to make weight.
That's what he said. He said, I got to definitely make some changes in my camp. Got a lot of decisions to make. He's talking like he's going to move up.
Well, he's pretty much going to have to. And like I said, we did another show where Eddie and I briefly spoke about that article that I wrote up about. I believe it was California that's going to be implementing same-day weigh-ins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hope they do.
Yeah, I think they should do that, and then everybody should follow suit because, guys cutting 30 and 40 pounds. I mean, again, even, Hendricks could have said that maybe that was the reason why he was so tired in the fifth round and he couldn't perform, but, who the hell wants to hear those kind of excuses? Fight at the weight that you're supposed to fight at, and don't be cutting 30, 40 pounds or more to make weight to try to get the edge because usually that doesn't work, No.
And I hope they'll do it for the simple fact that not because it's a mismatch, you got a bigger guy against a smaller guy, but on the flip side, you got the bigger guy cutting weight. He's drained, he's not his full potential, and gets fucking exposed, and then you crying about my weight cut and cussing out Mike Dolce and all this fucking bullshit. I would love to see the same-day weigh-ins, because then you're going to have a whole lot better fights. Like, you will see the Jones, Dos Santos, the Jones, Velasquez fights. Going to have to.
Yep. All right, let's wrap this one up here. Tony Ferguson defeats Abel Trujillo by submission due to rear naked choke at 4:19 of round 2. All right, that's the end of the main card there. Let's kind of breeze through the preliminary fights here. Let's talk about some of the fights on the Fox Sports 1 preliminary card. Uriah Faber versus Francisco Rivera. Uriah Faber defeats Francisco Rivera by submission due to rear naked choke at 1:34 of round 2. And there was a bit of controversy there, and I was actually shocked that Uriah Faber, I mean, holy jeez, man. I mean, it looked like his finger was stuck in his eye socket and he was hanging on. And who was that missed that? What ref was that missed that? Because that was so blatantly obvious.
I'll give you one guess, man. It was the one from earlier, or from the later fight that we talked about already. Mario.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't actually see it live. I mean, I watched it live, but I didn't see it as it happened until they showed the replay, and I was like, damn, he was trying to find something in his fucking eye.
Yeah, it looked like he had a hook in there on the eye.
What the fuck? They're going to look at that and review that as a no contest, but they're probably not. They're not going to, but they should.
Yeah, they're saying
After
if
the
it was
replay,
any,
man, it was
they're
like,
saying if it was any other commission that if it was appealed that they would probably overturn it, but they're saying not the instance at Nevada.
well, Uriah had a hell of an argument in the post-fight press conference, and I agreed with everything he said. Fighting is an instinct sport. You know, something happens, you're not thinking about it like, oh, fuck, I just gouged him in the eye. What? You see a weakness, if the ref is not stopping you, you got to finish that fight. You got to react and, react, counter-react, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But he had some valid points. I had to agree with him. I don't agree with the gouge, but it's the ref's job.
Yeah, he who
Not his
hesitates
job.
is lost, so you have no time
Exactly.
to sit there and wait, you know?
Like you've seen many people get hit in the fucking nuts and the ref's not calling and they're like, hey, hold on, hold on. Then the other fucking guys, you still got to fight. You got to fight.
Hey man, if Francisco had gotten, if the roles were switched, you think Francisco stops? No, he keeps going.
No.
So
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's part of the fighting. And actually, Francisco has already announced that he's going to fight it. He's going to try and get it overturned, or what do they call it, contest the result or whatever. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Those rarely ever pan out. But look, it sucks, and the crowd was booing afterwards. I don't think they were booing Faber. They were booing the fact that the fight went the way it went. And look, it just sucks, man. It's going to be a one of those weird wins on Faber's record, but it's still going to be a W.
Yeah.
If they didn't overturn Romero Kennedy, they're not overturning this.
Yeah, kind of a bum way to see the fight end there because it was actually shaping up to be a great fight.
Yeah.
All right, any other comments?
I was actually picking Rivera for that fight. I actually thought he was going to win that fight. I thought he was going to catch Faber eventually, but crazy shit happens.
That would have been historical there because Faber has never lost a non-title fight.
Yeah.
I like it. He's never lost a fight that doesn't really matter. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Like
that's what I was telling my
fights that
friend.
matter.
Well, I've been saying this for years because I know Jeremiah and I don't know if Jeremiah was a fan of his because I've known Jeremiah for like 8 years now. We used to post together on an old MMA forum that was out of Canada years ago. And I was a huge Faber fan back then. I don't know if you recall, but people used to give me shit on that site all the time for being a fan of Faber.
Yeah. Because I never liked him.
Yeah, everyone used to bust my balls for being a Faber.
He had valid arguments last night. I had to agree with him. He had some, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap that one up there. Uriah Faber defeats Francisco Rivera by submission due to rear naked choke at 134 of round 2 with a bit of controversy there. And we may see that one overturned to a no contest, but that's not likely going to happen. All right, next up here, I was a bit surprised at the way this one turned out here. Josh Salmon versus Eddie Gordon. Josh Salmon defeats Eddie Gordon by KO due to head kick at 308 of round 2. And I was expecting the fight to go completely the opposite way there. I'm telling my nephew, this guy Eddie Gordon is just going to blast the shit out of this guy Josh. And then all of a sudden that head kick landed. I was like, holy shit.
No, dude. Look, and I know I didn't say it on a show with you guys, but I saw it. I talked about it on one of my shows. I can't stand Salmon whatsoever. He's a huge douchebag. But hey, he did what he had to do, and unfortunately, I don't know if Gordon was loading up for like an overhand punch or something, but
he wasn't, man. When that kick came, I said to my nephew, "What the fuck is he doing? He's got his hands down. He's got his hands down, and then he lowers himself to the kick." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, like he had his hand up for a second. And he looked like he was about to, block it and come back with the left or something, or block and shoot. But it just goes like this, and the arm goes down, and I was like, I literally, as soon as the arm goes down, I go, oh shit, and then boom.
Not only did the arm go down, he bent down to take
into it.
In it. That's what I didn't see it live. I seen the replay, but Eddie took the words out of my mouth. I hated his ass on the fucking show. He's so cocky.
Yeah, I didn't care for him either. So that makes it unanimous here, where we were all not.
I hate him. Can't stand his fucking ass, man.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to see him. I was actually surprised to see him get the win.
Yep, little floppy hair.
Okay, any other comments on that one there? Not a whole lot to say there, but.
No.
Okay, wrapping that one up, Josh Salmon defeats Eddie Gordon by KO due to head kick at 3 out of round 2. And this one here was pretty exciting. The next one, Corey Anderson versus Justin Jones. Corey Anderson defeats Justin Jones by unanimous decision with the judges' scorecards reading 30-27, 30-27, and 30-26. And that guy, Corey Anderson, is just a beast. Wasn't he like one of the underdogs on that season of Tough that he was on? And he came out just blasting everybody.
Yeah, I missed this fight. I don't even know what happened.
You know what? Hey, man, I was on a flight back from Houston, and I only got to see the Fight Pass prelims. But no, Anderson is a beast. I got to go somewhere and find his fight from last night. But he is a beast, man. And from what I heard from the guys I talked to during the fights, what they were telling me is that he looks like he's ready for a top 10 guy. And to see, maybe like one more fight and then a top 10 guy. But Anderson is in a division that's already stacked with shit, and super talented. We're gonna wait and see what he ends up doing. But I want to see him finish some fights, not just go to decision every time.
Yeah, and he seems to have gotten a hell of a lot bigger than when he was on top.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw him on top, I thought he was gonna end up fighting at 185. And no, I mean, Gordon looks bigger than Anderson does, in my opinion. And I think Anderson did decide to just fuck it. I'm going up to 205. 185 is stacked.
Yeah, but Gordon, in comparison to Anderson, he looked a little bit softer, where Anderson looked like he was, all muscle.
Yeah, now he does. Yeah, for sure.
All right, any more comments on that one?
No.
Okay, Corey Anderson defeats Justin Jones by unanimous decision with the judges' scorecards reading 30-27, 30-27, and 30-26. All right, I was really surprised at this one here. I mean, there's a couple of fights. I'm glad we didn't do predictions on this because I probably would have got 4 or 5 of them wrong. But on this one here, let's talk about the women real briefly here. This was the first fight on the Fox Sports 1 card. Raquel Pennington versus Ashley Evans-Smith. Raquel Pennington defeats Ashley Evans-Smith by submission due to bulldog choke at 4:59 of round 1. And man, oh man, that was actually really brutal there. And I thought it was past the end of the round because I don't think that Ashley Evans-Smith was actually completely out when the bell rang. I thought it happened after the bell rang, and then she was clearly out after that. So I said to my nephew that even with that, I said, "Oh man, it's going to be, it's going to be over there." Then they cut right to the commercial. But I don't know. What do you guys think of that fight there? I was expecting Ashley Evans-Smith to win that one.
Yeah, I was shocked by the outcome too. Raquel got a hell of a gash on her forehead. I don't know exactly what caused that, but it was nasty.
I believe that was
I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised by the outcome of that fight.
Here's the thing about it. When I was doing predictions for this one, and this fight came up, I was talking. I think I was talking to John and over he works with me at Crossbones. But he was telling me, he was like, "Who'd you pick in this fight?" Or whatever. We're doing the picks, and I go, "Look, man, my first thought was I think I might go with Ashley Evans-Smith because she beat a dude. Okay, if you could beat a man."
Yeah, that's what I was telling my nephew last night.
Yeah. And I wasn't trying to get anti-PC or anything because I don't want to get the specifics and start some bullshit. Okay, technically by what Fallon Fox is she's a she, so let's just keep it that way. Okay, but the bone structure and all the other advantages is manly stuff. So anyway, so I thought Ashley Evans-Smith showed major toughness beating Fox, and yes, she came in as a late replacement, but I thought, look, that was tough as hell to do. I think if she come in here and at least be competitive. And she was competitive, but she ended up fucking up. But I ended up picking Raquel Pennington. I think I had her by decision though. But I ended up picking Pennington because she's fought higher level fighters for much longer, and she actually had a full camp. So I wasn't surprised.
She did not look good on Tough, man. Did you see her on the season of Tough that she was on?
She looked bad. My first thought when I saw her in that season, I thought she was hurt the whole time. But look, she looked pretty good this time. But again, a fighter. She's taking on a fighter that was late replacement, hasn't fought UFC level fighters before, and although she did beat Fox.
I don't know, man. I thought Ashley Evans-Smith was beating the hell out of Pennington.
No, she was. She had the advantage. I had to watch the replay earlier today because I missed that fight. I was on a flight, but you know, yeah, Ashley had it, but Pennington had this like survival about her, and maybe a little luck. You never know. And if she got cut open pretty bad, she was bleeding all over the damn place. Well, she got that bulldog choke, man. I was like, dude, that's a harsh one. And then Evans, look, that chick is tough, and she decided I'm not tapping for shit. I'm going to sleep.
She's fucking hot too. I think she's hot.
Yeah, she actually TKO'd Fallon Fox. It wasn't a decision. It wasn't an easy win. She TKO'd the dude. I mean,
if I remember correctly, I think she mounted her. She was, I think Evans mounted Fox and just beat the living fuck out of Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right, wrapping that one up. Any more comments on that one?
No.
Okay, Raquel Pennington defeats Ashley Evans Smith by submission due to bulldog choke at 4:59 of round 1. And guys, I did not see the Fight Pass cards. They had a special this month on Fight Pass, and I was going to get it, but I got busy at work and didn't get a chance to do that. So I did not get to see those. Did either of you guys get to see the Fight Pass fights?
No, I didn't see them.
All right, Eddie, go ahead and tell us about it.
Fight.
Not gonna lie to you, if you looked at my Twitter, I confessed about a quarter way through the flight that I got hammered. I don't like flying, so I got to drink a little bit when I'm flying, and I got kind of drunk. So I was watching the fights and trying to explain what was going on to the lady sitting next to me because she was like, "What are you watching right there?" and whatever. So, so I saw the Sergio Pettis Hobart. I saw the Pettis Hobart fight. That was a good fucking fight, dude. I think it got fight of the night too. But yeah, it was a good fight, man. I like Hobart. I thought Hobart was gonna put Pettis in trouble, but it was back and forth. It was really fun to watch. Nothing like spectacular happened, but it was just a display of two hard-nosed fighters going at it. And then the other fight, is it Clay Collar, Cassius, and whoever the other guy is, the Spartan.
Well, wait, before we move on to that one there, I wanted to talk about the scoring there.
Oh, yeah.
On that one there, Sergio Pettis versus Matt Hobart. Sergio Pettis defeats Matt Hobart by unanimous decision with the judges' scorecards reading 29-28, 29-28, and 30-26. So what was up with that? Explain that to me.
No idea. I don't know.
Were you too hammered to...
I was too drunk. Dude, look, if I don't score fights when I'm doing play-by-play and I'm sober, what the hell do you think I'm going to do when I'm drinking? There's no way I'm scoring
Especially
shit.
when you're drinking on a plane.
Oh, dude, yeah. I don't know.
Look, you get even more buzzed on a plane when you're drinking.
Hey, shout out to Southwest. I don't know if they loaded my drink, but after that first one, I was like, 2 more, please. He's like, you can't double fist. I'm like, fine, 1 at a time. It was fucking funny.
Getting drunk on a plane.
Yeah, it's just kind of odd the way that 2 judges see it 29-28, and then the other judge 30-26. So maybe it was that same judge who scored that other fight kind of wacky.
Yeah, don't they use all 3 judges for every fight, or do they change them out?
I think they swap them around, don't they?
So I don't know. I never went. You know what? I'm gonna find out about that. And I'm gonna see who I can talk to find out.
Hold on, MMA Junkie. They give a listing of all the referees and everything after that once the event is done.
Oh, okay. All right.
On their play-by-play page.
I think they change them up. I don't
Yeah,
think it's the same
they do
rep.
for the most part.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. But man, you never know. And look, that's what they say. Don't let the fight go to the judges because you don't want that shit happening to you.
Yeah, but looking at that score, that 30-26 score, that's kind of reminiscent of the main event where the one judge scored at 49-46, you know?
I mean, if you believe in fixing fights and because of Vegas, that could be a possibility, depending on if you're betting on scores.
Yeah, but that would just totally destroy the UFC, so I don't really think that's happening. But again, it could happen with a single individual.
Hey, man, the mafia and organized crime is a powerful thing, my friend.
Yeah. How you doing, huh?
Reaches far and wide.
Okay, go ahead, Eddie. Go ahead, move on to that next one there. Clay Collar versus Alex White. Clay Collar defeats Alex White by unanimous decision with the judges' scorecards reading 29-28, 29-28, and 29-26. Another kind of odd one.
Yeah, I don't know if I had the same judge for that last score, but I don't know, man. I mean, it was nothing special. I'll tell you that. It was a prelim. That's all I can say about that one. It was. If you want to go back and watch it, go on. I'm pretty sure they still have it on Fight Pass, but it wasn't anything special. I got bored kind of halfway through.
Yeah, I don't even know who either of those fellas are.
Yeah, I know Collard. Collard had a pretty good boxing record, and that's why he calls himself Cassius, as in Cassius Clay, which is basically just him not calling himself Muhammad Ali, because kind of a douchebag by doing that. But yeah, all I know about him is that he has a pretty good boxing record. He's trying out MMA to see if he can make a career out of it.
Well, being that Cassius Clay didn't really want his name and decided to change it to Muhammad Ali, you can't blame somebody for wanting to pick up the name.
True. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the bonuses here real quickly here. UFC 181 Hendricks versus Lawler, 2 bonuses. The fight of the night bonus went to Sergio Pettis and Matt Hobart, earning them $50,000 each. Eddie was the only one who actually saw that, so I guess that was deserving, Eddie?
Yeah, I think so. It was a really good fight. You could also I don't know if you can make a case for the main event.
I was saying, I didn't see that fight, so I was saying to my nephew that I thought the main event was a contender for fight of the night.
It was that was a great fight, and I would say if you would have given it to either one, I wouldn't complain. But that Pettis Hobart fight was fun to watch. Definitely, if you can find it on YouTube or if you have Fight Pass and it's still on there, I haven't even checked, but if it's still on there, go watch it. It was actually a pretty fun fight.
Okay, and then Anthony Pettis wins the $50,000 performance of the night bonus for his finish of Gilbert Melendez by submission due to guillotine choke at 153 of round 2. I guess that was warranted, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Oh, which one? Okay, repeat that one more time. Sorry, I'm like buzzing.
That was the Anthony Pettis performance of the night bonus.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't think the other one was deserved. Yeah, you got a head kick knockout on Eddie Gordon, but you know what? I take it back. Maybe it's because I hate Josh Salmon. That's why I don't think it's deserved. But I wouldn't have mind.
I don't particularly like Josh Salmon myself either, but I thought, and that's the third bonus. Josh Salmon wins $50,000 performance of the night bonus for his finish of Eddie Gordon by KO due to head kick at 3:08 of round 2. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of his either, but I thought that was warranted because how often do you see that where the dude gets hit, he's out on his feet, and then he almost landed another shot on the way down?
He landed that right. He landed that right on the way down.
Yeah, it was glancing.
Yeah, he landed it. Yeah, that was crazy. But my battery's at 1%, man. I'm gonna have to cut out, I believe. All
right. One more thing here. If your battery dies, let it die here. But I want to get your opinion on this. On a scale of 1 to 10, since everybody was kind of ranting and raving about this event here, how did you guys rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd have to give it an 8.5.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna go with 9. 9, but I think 9 if you include the CM Punk announcement and the way it broke the fucking internet so fast after it went down. But if we're talking just fights, maybe 8.5 sounds good.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with an 8 or 9 myself. I agree. All right, let's keep. Let's keep going here. Let's talk about that news there. So this is the end of the show. Basically, we're just going to do final thoughts here. And CM Punk, I personally don't know who the guy is. All I know is that he was a WWE fighter or wrestler, and he's 36 years old. I think he's getting a bit of a late start into the game. So a lot of fighters complaining about the fact that he's coming into the UFC, and he's getting a contract without having any experience or any MMA fights. Eddie, you probably know who this guy is better than I do.
Yeah, and I think we just lost Jeremiah. I think his 1% died off.
Yeah.
All right. CM Punk, former WWE champion. Okay, I haven't watched wrestling since, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Freaking regularly, I guess. Since The Rock left wrestling, and I was like 8 when that happened, or 10, however old I was. But when I heard of this guy CM Punk, I found him to be like refreshingly honest and actually kind of funny. And he's like one of those. He's like the underdog in everything he does. So I actually paid attention to what he said and did and all that stuff. So he is an interesting character because he has trained jiu-jitsu. He has a Kempo background, so he's got a lot of training to do regardless. But here's the thing about CM Punk that people get mad about: the fact that he's coming in with a 0-0 record into the biggest MMA promotion on the planet, right? And a lot of these other guys have to work their way up, going through small promotions, trying to get the UFC just to look at them, right? So my first thought when I saw the announcement was that the UFC is trying to get more wrestling fans over to the WWE, from the WWE to the UFC. The same way Brock Lesnar brought him over, right?
That's clearly the motive.
Yeah. Biggest difference here, Brock Lesnar. I think 2-time national champ, wrestler, just big time. A lot of people already knew who he was before he became a professional wrestler. You know what I mean? Those are they're into the wrestling scene. But CM Punk, you don't know much about his actual combat skills or experience or anything. Again, background in Kempo, and he trains with Henry Gracie. That's all we know about his fighting ability. Because, you're not really fighting in WWE, clearly. He is, he's still an athlete. You still have to be an athlete to be a wrestler for the most part. But, it's I don't know. It's to me, it's interesting. To a lot of people, like my friend Aaron Robbins, who writes for the Last Word on Sports, he calls him CM Junk. He hates the fact that he's in the UFC. He calls him CM Junk. But look, he's gonna do what the UFC designed this signing to do, is bring eyes and bring more people over to UFC, and just to see whether or not he can actually throw down.
Yeah, I have a lot of wrestling fans from Entertainment Wrestling that follow me on my Twitter and the show's Twitter. So I saw a lot of them. I don't know why they follow me on Twitter, because it's MMA, but I guess some of them like MMA as well. But I saw a lot of them saying that this is going to be a big draw. He's going to bring a lot of people over to MMA. But I don't know the guy, so I really couldn't say. But, I understand what's going on here, and I have no problem with, wrestlers coming to the UFC. But as long as they're not like Brock Lesnar, I prefer guys like Bobby Lashley. And even this guy here, he looks to be, the CM Punk, he looks to be a little more respectable kind of character. And he even said himself, look, I don't have time. I'm 36 years old. I don't have time to go and work my way up the ladder. I'm going to come in, I'm going to fight. I'm either going to get my ass kicked or I'm going to kick some ass, and then it'll be, continue on or it's over.
Yeah, and one of the guys watching the stream right now, Big Kev, said this in one of the comments. He says, he's an athlete who runs, punches, flips, and kicks for a living. He has an MMA background, as Eddie mentioned. I have a little more MMA training and rounded out his skills, and who knows. Absolutely valid point. With a lot of guys are one-dimensional guys, right? CM Punk already has that a little bit of an edge with the fact that he's an athlete that's been doing all this stuff, flipping, kicking, punching, and all that. Now
for years, he's been in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for years, hasn't he?
Yeah, on and off, but he has been on there. And if you watch the Gracie breakdowns that Henry Gracie and his brother do, he's been on there pretty recently. So, I mean, look, he's gonna bring viewers. I think he's gonna end up being, he's not gonna be a Brock Lesnar. He's not gonna be a champion, but he's gonna be legit. I think he's gonna surprise a few people, and you're gonna find out real quick who this guy is. But look, to me, it's an interesting thing to see. To a wrestling fans, they're just like, fuck yeah, I can't wait to see this shit go down, and I definitely can't wait to see it either.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is I think they're probably going to throw him. I don't want to say cans, but I think they're going to throw him some fighters that are, really high caliber fighters, and I think he probably deserves that, to get his game going. So in order to attract and keep those fans that may come over from WWE, they got to kind of nurse him along in that regard there, because if you throw him out there to the wolves and he gets his ass beat, I'm pretty sure the WWE fans that were following him over are going to go, fuck this MMA shit.
Pretty much. And I mean, there's a lot of people calling him out. You got Michael Bisping kind of called him out. Phil Baroni, for some fucking weird reason, called him out. Phil needs to just sit down and shut up somewhere. He's done. And then the other guy that called him out, I don't know if you ever watched Power Rangers, but did you ever see the Green Ranger? I think his name is Jason David Frank.
No.
Okay, well, this guy was...
That was after my time.
Okay, well, there you go. I grew up with that shit. But the Green Ranger, Jason David Frank fucking called him out, too. Everyone's calling him out. Hell, I think Fred Kirby just called him out, and I don't even know. So everyone's calling this dude out. Actually, I don't think Fred would ever call anybody out. He's too nice. But it's I don't know. It's almost like a circus, but everyone's noticing that he's going to get eyes on him. So everyone's going to want to fight him, including guys in the top 10 of the 185, possibly 170 division, because they want the eyes on them. They want to market themselves too. Oh, this CM Punk guy's coming in with all these viewers already. Everyone's going to want to see it. Okay, I want in on this fight. And, you're going to get a Michael Bisping calling him out, So it's going to be interesting to see who they give him compared to who calls him out. But I really hope they don't, throw him to the fire right away. Give him someone that's like, just outside of the rankings and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's it then. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. And
No problem, man. Sucks that we lost. Sucks that we lost.
Jeremiah. Thanks, Jeremiah, too. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Jeremiah. I don't know. Hopefully he's charging his computer right now. But big thanks to people that joined us today. Big Kev, Spike Zero, Dex Monkey One. That's a funny name. And we had one guy from Australia. I can't find him. I know he's here. Mikey B. So yeah, thanks to everybody for tuning in and everything and hitting us up on the comments.
Yeah, we appreciate it. All right, guys. I guess we will see you next time.
All right, later, man.
All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.